What was your reaction to all the fuss that came about from Mick Malthouse's line yesterday, Andrew?
Yeah, look, it was a pretty disappointing day, really. So, look, I was quite frustrated, a little bit annoyed to be dragged into a drama that was engulfing another AFL club and dragged into it inappropriately, I think, for something that really shouldn't have been a concern for us.
Do you feel like it's become a bigger issue because of the prior history with the Kurt Tippett stuff?
Oh, well, look, I'm someone who's looking forward, not looking back. But you know, I guess that there's people connecting those dots, but they shouldn't be. This is a deal that was done with a player in accordance with the AFL rules and regulations, and as I said, it wouldn't even be spoken about if it wasn't for a drama that's very unrelated, that's engulfing another footy club. So it's disappointing that it's been connected.
So where is it now, Andrew? Where's clearly, if Adelaide's going to make sure that the question isn't asked, it needs to be investigated. So where are you with the AFL on this one? Yeah, so we contacted the AFL ourselves this morning. So up until that, we hadn't been contacted by the AFL. So I did that proactively, spoke to the head of their integrity unit to ensure that they were taking a look at it because of the media speculation that had arisen out of the events of yesterday. Provided them with a paper trail and documentation that related to the signing of Eddie Betts, and they're looking at that right now. And look, as I indicated yesterday, I don't imagine that it should take too long because it should be very, very straightforward. The documentation and the paper trail is very straightforward. This deal was done absolutely in accordance with all AFL rules and regulations.
Is that where it ends, or is there any indication that they may come over to speak with you personally or anything like that?
No, I think that's highly unlikely at this stage. As I said, this is a non-issue that's been made into an issue because of unrelated events. The paper trail, which is in the documentation, is very, very clear with how this deal was structured and done and completed. So they'll take a look at that today. They'll conduct whatever inquiry they wish to conduct, and we'll support that, which is why I made the call to them this morning to say, what do you need from us? And so I would like to think it's going to be a pretty short process.
Yeah, you say unrelated and non-issue, but when we do the timeline, it is in the middle when Adelaide's under its greatest heat for how it was dealing with rules and regulations.
Yeah, so I actually think that actually works in Adelaide's favour, Michelangelo. The governance protocols that are in place at this football club are quite extraordinary. There's something that I haven't seen in any other football club, and the compliance that we go through internally before we even make an offer is extraordinary. We've got a professional standards and integrity committee that also works with the footy club. We've got a person or individual that we employ that independently audits our processes in that regard as well. So I actually think that we've got probably the strongest set of protocols that exist within the AFL.
Well, that's post 2012. The Malthouse quote says 18 months, which puts you in June, July 2012, before that governance was in place.
Yeah, and that's a quote by an individual that has been dismissed by the Carlton Football Club and by the other individuals involved.
On social media last night, you talked about some inaccurate reporting last night. Can you just clarify that? Were you talking about what Mick himself said, or any individual, or just actual media reports?
Look, I could have used a bunch of words: inaccurate, mischievous, disappointing, frustrating. Look, this suddenly became a national issue, and that was frustrating for the footy club because it related to an issue that had substance and was far more significant, and that related to the Carlton Football Club. And suddenly it was being made into something that it wasn't through several radio interviews. There was obviously some press. There was coverage right throughout social media, and look, that was disappointing for us as a club, particularly when I'd reviewed all of the documentation that existed within the football club. So it was disappointing, but so be it. That's the world in which we live.
But it was also a consequence of what Adelaide had lost in 2012, though, wasn't it? That question should be asked. Once a statement like that's made, it's not just going to fall into the ether, surely.
once a statement like what has been made.
You couldn't expect that not to be questioned and analysed and discussed in the media, sure?
No. Look, mate, we're a big footy club in a big footy town, playing within the biggest code in the country. I expect that when comments like that are made, that they're going to cause or going to draw attention to the issue itself and to the club, more specifically. So it didn't surprise me, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating when those sorts of things occur.
You've come from a sport where free agents are allowed to do deals.
Mm.
Do you think in the end that's the lesson we're going to have to learn in AFL footy, that we're going to have to go down the same path anyway, and then a statement like Malthouse makes is just irrelevant anyway?
Yeah, look, if I'm looking forward, I could probably see a time where the rules would continue to relax. It's hard to see that the rules would tighten over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I think these things around the country, around the world of sport, probably show that they relax more than they tighten. But I'm actually a fan of the rules and how they work at the moment. I think that the protocols are very, very tight. Integrities of the highest order, and as a footy club, I want to continue to ensure that we operate in accordance with those rules as they currently exist.
Last couple of guys,
have the comments damaged the club's reputation?
No, look, I think this will come and go pretty quickly, because I expect that the AFL in the not too distant future would make it very clear that any contract dealings with Eddie Betts were above board and done in accordance with their rules and regulations. I've already made that comment yesterday. We refute any allegations to the contrary. I'm saying that again to you guys today, and that will be stated clearly. So I'm pretty certain that our fans and supporters and partners, they both understand that now, and it will be made clearer to them in the future.
So what do you expect to happen from here?
Look, I'll wait for the AFL to complete their inquiry, and I expect that they will, make some form of public announcement or statement regarding that.